Stop. Notice what happens the second someone pokes your pride. Your chest tightens, your jaw sets, and your mind starts writing a speech. That reflex feels like strength. It is not. It is a leash, and the person who triggers it is holding the handle. Picture your attention like a vault. Every day you walk around with a limited supply of calm, focus, and self-control. When you explode, you are not expressing power. You are handing out free access to your vault. Imagine a candle in a quiet room. One careless breath and the flame bends. Your anger works the same way. One careless reaction and your whole nervous system tilts towards someone else's mood. Now picture a table with a simple contract on it. The contract says, I will act chaotic and you will react for me. Most people sign it instantly with raised voices and fast words. The first upgrade is learning to leave the contract unsigned. See a mirror on a wall. When someone provokes you, they are not always describing you. Often they are revealing themselves. If you treat every comment like a verdict, you live inside their mirror instead of your own. Picture a scale with two bowls. In one bowl, your ego's urge to win. In the other bowl, your peace. Every time you choose winning over peace, the scale tips toward exhaustion. Now imagine a narrow hallway. One person tries to pull you into noise. The disciplined person does not wrestle in the hallway. He steps aside, lets the noise pass, and keeps walking. Think of the gap between a trigger and a response. Most people have no gap at all. They are stimulus to reaction machines. Your goal is simple. Stretch the gap until you can choose, not flinch. Picture a judge's gavel on a desk. The moment you react, you hand someone the gavel. You are saying, you get to decide my emotional weather. Refuse that role swap. Now see two people in a room. One is performing emotion to look powerful. The other is calm, quiet, and deliberate. The room doesn't trust the performance. The room watches the calm one. Imagine your breathing as a dial. When the dial spikes, your thinking shrinks. So you lower the dial first, 2 short inhales through the nose, then 1 long, slow exhale. Simple, quiet, like turning the volume down on your own body. Picture a storm outside a window. The storm is loud, but the glass doesn't argue with it. Calm is not passivity. Calm is structure. It says, your weather does not enter my room. Now imagine someone trying to sell you a bad deal. The deal is, trade your peace for my drama. A disciplined mind treats provocation like a terrible business pitch. No negotiation, no emotional purchase, declined. Picture a chessboard under one lamp. The pawn rushes forward, reacting to every move. The king moves slowly because he is not reacting to noise. He is choosing position. Now use a second tool. Agreement that removes friction. If someone throws a cheap label at you, do not sprint into defense. Give a calm, minimal acknowledgement that makes the label useless. Not sarcasm, not cruelty, just composure. Picture a balloon they want to inflate. Your reaction is the air. The fastest way to deflate their game is to stop supplying air. Imagine a locked door with a wax seal. You do not owe everyone access to your inner world. A seal is not an argument. It is a boundary, calmly enforced. Now picture a mask at a polished social gathering. People perform. People posture. The most powerful person in the room is often the one who speaks the least and watches the most. Silence is not empty. Silence is authority. Think about how quickly anger makes you predictable. If someone can press one button and get the same reaction every time, you are not strong. You are programmed. The real flex is becoming hard to program. Picture a scientist observing a reaction in a glass beaker. The scientist does not take it personally. He watches what is happening, notes patterns, and stays steady. Adopt that posture with provocation. Now imagine a simple question you can use like a key. What outcome are we actually trying to get here? It shifts the room from performance to purpose. It turns a status contest into a problem to solve. Picture a doorway marked control. On one side are things you can control, your breath, your pace, your words, your exit. On the other side are things you cannot control, other people's tone, mood, and opinions. Anger is often a symptom of trying to live on the wrong side of the doorway. Now see a small crowd watching an argument like a sport. The crowd rarely cares about truth. The crowd cares about entertainment. If you argue for the crowd, you lose twice. You waste energy, and you train yourself to perform. Picture your day like a blueprint on a table. Every detour into drama smudges the blueprint. The most dangerous people protect their blueprint more than their pride. Now imagine a person who provokes others for attention. That is an attention economy. They are spending chaos to buy reactions. Do not be the one who funds their economy. Picture a city with walls. Inside the walls is order, outside is noise. Boundaries are not cruelty, boundaries are infrastructure. Without them, everything leaks. Now imagine you're forced to be around difficult personalities, work, family, public spaces. You do not need to be real with everyone. You need to be safe with yourself, so you use an avatar. Picture the avatar as a polite coat you put on. It smiles. It nods. It uses short, neutral sentences. I hear you. Noted. I'll think about it. Your real mind stays protected behind the coat. Now see how this changes your nervous system. When you stop feeding friction, you stop giving other people the remote control. You don't need to win. You need to stay sovereign. Picture a coin labeled attention. Every minute you spend inside a circular argument is a coin you never get back. If the conversation produces no outcome, it is overpriced. Walk away. Imagine an elevator that only goes down. That's what endless back and forth with chaotic people does. Even if you win the point, you lose energy. The upgrade is choosing not to enter the elevator. Picture a glass wall. People can see you, but they can't reach your center. That's the right kind of distance. Not hatred, not isolation, precision. Now think about the real reason insults sting, not the words, the meaning you attach to them. The moment you stop attaching meaning, the sound becomes just sound. Picture a sentence dissolving into air. That is what happens when you stop treating every comment as a verdict on your identity. Your identity becomes self-owned, not crowd-owned. Now imagine you are building an internal citadel. Each time you choose breath over reaction, you lay a brick. Each time you choose a calm question over a defense speech, you lay a brick. Picture a blacksmith shaping metal. The hammer is boring. The result is not. Calm is forged through repetition, not motivation. Now imagine the premium attention rule. Premium attention goes to your health, your craft, your mission, your people. It does not go to random provocations, bait, or status contests. Picture a table full of masks, gossip, and cheap validation. The strongest move is not to flip the table. The strongest move is to stand up, leave quietly, and protect your energy. Now notice what happens when you stop reacting. The world feels quieter, and in that quiet you start hearing something else. Your own thoughts, your own standards, your own direction. Picture a mirror in an empty room. When the noise fades, you face the only person you can actually govern. That's where real power starts. Not controlling others, but ruling yourself. So the next time someone tries to buy your reaction, remember the sequence. Pause, breathe, observe, choose. Use one clean sentence or use silence. Protect the vault. Because the person who can hold composure in private will hold it in public. And the person who stops selling their peace for cheap triggers becomes untouchable without ever raising their voice.